broadcasting on that.
Super. What? You want to do it for you? No,
You don't need me, do you? Okay.
yeah, she does me.
I do. I'm always.
We ready? Well, good morning. Yeah.
Morning, Frank.
And Lisa, right? We're still in the morning time
Yes.
here. You are on the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa this morning. We're so glad that you would take the time to stop in. If you want to give us a call and ask any of our wonderful guests a question, give us a call at 719-300-7936. We provide a platform for entrepreneurs and community-based people in the region and beyond to expand the reach and to create a positive impact in the Colorado Springs market and wherever it is you might be listening. Remember, this is World Broadcasting Network, so our reach can be anywhere, and we will be delighted to hear from you from anywhere. Thanks for being with us today. I need to remind you, we are on Family Flavors The Slide, an internet-based radio show, a station that's a nonprofit that's trying to uplift our community with services and voices that you need to hear. Let me remind you of July 23rd. We have the Back to Business Backpack Giveaway, right, Lisa?
School supply drive.
That's what I thought it was. Yes, school supply drive. So they are collecting things to help people with school. Give them a call once again at 719-300-7936 if you can help out with the drive as well.
And you can bring your items here and also at Dr. Warner's office. He's a chiropractor right close to Family Flavors as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so any school supplies, bring it to both locations.
Both locations?
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for filling me in. You can tell we have some incredible show prep, right?
Just winging it sometimes.
So, now that you know, listen, we're sponsored by two incredible human beings. Today's episode is brought to you by Cressio, your trusted partner in business and marketing consulting with a focus on automation and strategy development. Cressio is dedicated to helping businesses streamline their processes and grow their audience. Learn more about their services at Cressio.com. Also, we are also sponsored by the incredible Christopher Roberts and Pro Media, Colorado's leading service for professional video and photo content. If you have a vision, Pro Media is here to help you bring it to life. Check them out at ProMediaColorado.com. Lisa.
Yes, sir.
We're your hosts, right?
We are everyone's host today. For the next 2 hours at least.
Yeah, we're going to introduce you to an incredible guy in just a few minutes who's really helping us streamline our show, helping us do some incredible things on our show as well. He even gave me a script today that I've gotten off of 4 times already.
Yes.
So we need, just give me grace, all right?
Grace is yours.
As we continue to bring you in on Motivation Monday. We're your hosts, Frank and Lisa, and we're not only passionate about encouraging the community, but also successful entrepreneurs. Allow me to introduce you to Lisa's innovative venture, Innovate Success. Their mission is simple yet powerful: to connect clients and reputable local businesses ready to serve families right now. Since 2021, Lisa has made it her mission to connect hundreds of local businesses, resulting in increased productivity, expanded client bases, and emerging collaborative efforts. Essentially, Innovate Success Network on behalf of your business. Essentially, Innovate Success Networks on behalf of your business.
That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. You know what, Lisa? I'm going to
Yes,
leave it
Frank.
all right there and just pass it on to you because you are just amazing. Let me just tell you, she's the greatest connector in our community,
Thank
and
you.
I get the opportunity to work with her. Isn't that awesome?
Thank you so much.
All right, go Lisa.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you, Frank. I'm thrilled to introduce my co-host, Frank Sinclair, as a community leader, business strategist, and the region's #1 encouragement coach via his company, Dream Again. He is dedicated to helping individuals and businesses alike achieve their goals. With Frank's guidance, you'll find renewed confidence, hope, and capability to live the life you've always dreamt of, because Frank truly believes that a simple encouragement can change a life.
Indeed.
So if you're looking for someone to fill you with hope and cheer you on as your coach, Frank is the person you need. You can find him on dreamagainllc.com. And before we get started, if you've got a question, a story, or some wisdom to share with our community, we'd love for you to join the conversation. You can call us again at 719-300-7936. And don't be shy, your voice matters to us, so we would love to hear. Call in as we get started, and let's be encouraged together. All right, time for the intros.
Woo! I've been waiting for this, right? Yeah.
Okay, so
You got enough breath to do that?
Yes.
Okay, let's check it in.
I know, sweet. Okay, so joining us today, we have Mr. Joshua Aguirre and his beautiful wife, Valery Aguirre. And we have James Hilliard. So, first, let's start with Joshua. Joshua founded Invest Labs. I'm not allowed to ask what that means. We will do a deep dive later, Joshua. Also founded Cressio and the Joshua Wave, focusing on empowering entrepreneurs, providing AI business consulting for diverse businesses, owners, and serving the homeless through entrepreneurship. These organizations reflect his commitment to innovative solutions, social impact, and bridging socioeconomic divides. And then Miss Valery co-founded the Joshua Wave as well, and she's very passionate about natural health and is managing OsteoStrong over on Stetson Hills. And Mr. James, a retired soldier with 23 years of service with both Army and Air Force. Thank you so much for your service.
Pleasure.
And he turned entrepreneur, woo, our favorite, in the health and wellness industry. We can't wait to dive into our conversation with them. Let's do it.
Let's do it, indeed. Oh my, Valerie, I'm going to start with you
Oh,
as
gosh.
we begin the conversation here today. I thought I'd throw a curve in there,
Yeah.
right? Joshua's sitting on the edge of his seat, ready to
Yep.
roll.
Ladies first.
Exactly.
I don't mind by the way the order. If you want to go with Josh or James, sure.
Oh, there's no order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We won't let him go that far scripted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, right. No order. We go intuitively how we feel to roll. So you're passionate about natural health. What is OsteoStrong?
OsteoStrong, it's an incredible business that focuses on helping increase your bone density.
Oh,
With an increased bone density, believe it or not, you could potentially come out of like an osteoporosis type of diagnosis even.
Wow.
So you don't have to rely on just medications, but there's alternatives to really increase that bone density. But also it's really awesome for those that are just trying to have better muscular system, like they want a stronger, more efficient type of workout. It's a really great, efficient, it's a biohack, so to speak.
ah.
We're like
So
the
what do you
ultimate.
do there? Like, are there machines that you jump on and?
Yeah, so we have these proprietary machines that are only found in OsteoStrongs. They're not found in any wellness facility or any gyms, but they're really great because they resist. So you put a certain amount of force and you get to a certain multiples of your body weight, and that sounds astronomical for normally for people because
Yeah.
we're not all like power lifters.
Right.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, people of all ages, we have folks that are in their 80s that are at our facility, but also young folks as well, as athletes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Well, I fall much closer to the 80 crowd. So it's
No.
not the
Not
young
that
folk.
close.
No. If you do,
early
you look
60s,
incredible. I was gonna say.
But that being said, Valery,
Mhm.
we know that you're here. We know because you told us that you're from Colombia originally, right?
Yes. Well, I was born in the States, but I was raised. I was raised with my Colombian parents. They migrated here when they were much younger, and my grandmother as well. So I have both cultures in me. I'm very much Colombian American.
Yeah. The health seems to be really your leaning edge passion.
Yes,
right?
yes, I love
You know,
it.
how did that develop in your life? Tell us a little about Valery.
Sure. So, like most folks that are in like natural health, I think we share a similar story where it's like it kind of starts with like a personal something, whether it's you're combating like a heart issue, and that's kind of my story. I just had to be on certain medications because of this heart condition, and I just didn't like the way I felt from it. So I was like, let me just dive into some literature, some information out there, and there was a lot of that that I didn't know about from just like the Western side of things. So the alternative health world, I know sometimes that could sound a little woo-woo or something, but it's really not.
Some of it is.
Well, some of it can be.
Some is.
Sure.
Yeah,
But just different ways to like feel better and know that I have a responsibility to research myself, and I just don't want to give that big responsibility just to the professionals,
Yeah.
do my own research.
We had a woo-woo show.
We had a woo-woo show.
Yeah,
We
we
called
even
it the
called it
woo-woo
that.
show.
Right? Yeah.
We had a
It's
cacao
interesting.
lady with the cacao chocolates.
Interesting.
She does cacao ceremonies.
Ooh.
And then the other one, vibrational
Yeah,
sound.
vibrational sound.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah. Sound baths.
Marissa Searle, of course, she's got a holistic place right there off in Black Forest.
Okay.
Yeah, and they
All
admitted
natural
that it was
stuff.
woo-woo.
Yeah, but it's legit
So
woo-woo.
they didn't run from
Legit
that
woo-woo.
from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and one person on the show with us that was woo-woo, he hadn't bought in. Kinda like me.
Okay.
Yeah, I hadn't totally bought into
Oh,
the
you're not
whole
going to say his name?
I can't no.
Charlie.
Oh.
He's like a brother to me, okay? But his last name is Searle, and my maiden
Her
name
maiden
is Searle.
name is Searle. Yeah.
Mine has an S though, but anyway,
Oh.
I always tease him because I'm like, I probably have dibs on that farm out there in Monument for the Searle ranch.
Cool.
I wish.
Great meat. You eat meat?
Yes.
Okay, right on.
Yes.
You can stay in the room. All right. So,
Oh, that's funny.
Yes. It's all about quality, and I don't restrict myself.
And-
That's
and-
great.
You lived in Argentina, right? Your dad's from?
My dad's from Argentina,
Mhm.
but the longest we've spent there is probably about a month. But
Okay.
I haven't lived there. Yeah.
But the meat there is
Yeah.
to die for.
Unparalleled.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
so good. No preservatives and junk.
really?
I mean, oh my gosh, I could
Yeah.
eat they gave me a whole plate of meat. And I
That's-
ate it all.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what
Just
they're known
meat.
for in Argentina.
Yes.
It's like the meat, the quality. That's what all they do is some salt,
Oh,
grill.
really?
And it's
So
the
good.
best.
And
It's just-
everyone has their own outdoor barbecue
Yeah.
pit.
yes, a pit.
No matter how poor
Right.
you are,
Yeah.
you have a barbecue
That's
pit.
the
in
first
backyard.
appliance that you need when you get a house
Yeah.
in Argentina.
Really?
It's
No.
so
And
interesting.
if the house doesn't come with it, they'll build it. And it's
I'm
a
gullible,
bonus.
man. I believe anything.
No, it-
You're an Argentinian expert.
I don't know about that.
Do you tango?
I would like to say that I do. I have
Oh.
done tango, but my aunt is an amazing tango instructor in Argentina. Yeah.
Wow, she's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I ever go down there, I can
Yeah.
like hit her up.
Oh, totally.
She's
Yeah.
great.
She'll give you some
Oh, I
lessons.
love
We had some
that.
private lessons. It was amazing.
Yeah.
John and I just dabbled at doing the American tango, but I
Yeah.
know the Argentine tango is more sultry, closer. You feel
Yeah.
each other. It's easier to follow for the ladies, but
Beautiful.
harder for the men because they
Sure.
Feel each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they move a shoulder, you know, oh, you gotta go this way. Or another way.
I see.
Not that way, Frank. Behave yourself.
I'm flying in tomorrow.
PG radio. We love that.
I think I'm blushing.
Oh, you got the blushing already. Miss Valerie loves us.
All right, we're back. Every time I let Lisa talk, we get into these kind of conversations.
Yes.
Right? So,
That's why I'm here.
why you're here. Joshua,
Yes, sir.
you are a man of many passions, a guy that's creatively adept at really finding gaps and filling those. Tell us a little bit about Joshua and where do these passions arrive from?
Sure. Yeah. So I've had probably a traumatic childhood for most people, and I think when you go through trauma, you either allow it to break you down or to build you up. And so, going through life, I learned a lot of life lessons and business lessons kind of simultaneously. And my first experience with entrepreneurship came when I started fixing computers on the side and building my own designs for business cards and starting to market myself a little bit while I was working at Radio Shack. And so from a young age, I was always very entrepreneurial and trying to figure out what is that next big technology to utilize and learn and see how to adapt to. And so as I grew up, I started moving from Radio Shack to a multimedia group in Orlando where I filmed for large companies like Sears, Disney, and Toyota. And while I was in that media group learning all of these different mixed multimedias, I really fell in love with the variety of media, but I started to see more of my passion developing for culture and leadership and trying to figure out what makes businesses tick. And so I started my own marketing agency and then eventually pivoted that to a consulting company where I teach business owners, diverse business owners, so for primarily like underprivileged and people that may need that leg up or that handout to learn how to measure their return on investment, their ROI, with the marketing services that they purchase.
Why did you feel the draw or the need to help the unprivileged?
Sure. So my father came here from Argentina when he was 18-ish and became a mechanic and just fell into learning how to perfect his job and being a mechanic for 40 years. And so I saw him live out this one lifestyle because he was passionate about taking things apart and putting them back together. So I became passionate about taking things apart and putting them back together, but I would do that with a lot of different things. So like from a young age, I used to build fireworks. I used to take apart fireworks that I bought from the supermarket and put them back together. I don't know why my parents let me do it, but I try to be pretty safe with it. But I saw as I grew older in retrospect that I really loved to see how things worked and
You were like a Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, well,
in the neighborhood, right?
I mean, maybe some experiences. Yeah.
If you could take apart fireworks, I'm sure you got some stories.
Sure do, yeah. But for me, it was more about like seeing the people that weren't getting the privilege in life and seeing how I could help them, and that stems from like the way that my mom raised me. She was always bringing in people of different cultures into our home and feeding them and learning about their cultures, and so that like influence that she had on my life allowed me to see diversity as a thing to be cherished.
That's beautiful.
We'll come back to you because there's another part of your story that I think so inspirational, painful in the going, right? Because pain creates purpose.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that's how we find purpose in our lives, are the pain points that we experience along the way. So I want to revisit that, but Mr. Hilliard, that he said that we've met, and he's an incredible human, and I can't believe that I have met you. I know, yeah. And it looks like he's 26.
Yeah.
But he spent 23 years in the military, so that can't be possible.
That doesn't work out.
Prodigy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's in the bloodline.
Yeah, it must be.
Tell us a little bit about you, Jay.
And then, it's interesting because you talked to Valerie about being the manager at OsteoStrong. I'm actually the owner.
Oh, no way!
Are you?
Right.
There's the
There's
connection.
a connection.
Ah.
It's the nice
Mystery
cute little
solved.
shirt.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm actually the owner of OsteoStrong, right? So as she's talked about how we help with like bone health and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that's kind of where she focuses on. I'm more the athlete type, so I focus on more the muscular development and everything side of that house. Is what the part side that I work on.
Okay.
And the whole reason this came about, why I got into OsteoStrong to begin with, because I was in the military for 23 years.
Mhm.
You know, you got to show up for physical training every single
Yep.
morning at 6 o'clock.
Not in the Air Force.
Yeah, well, sure. Actually, they kind of changed that. Towards the point that I was getting out, they actually changed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before we would just show up and play basketball
Yeah,
for physical
exactly.
training or something
Right.
like that in the
Right,
afternoon,
Uh-huh.
right? But that towards the end, when I was getting out, they changed that.
Ah.
Then now you had to show up in the morning and do the usual
PT.
stuff
Ah.
and everything like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it got to a point that I actually got tired of exercise. Because believe it or not, I don't like to exercise.
Mm.
Right, I really don't. But I loved the benefits that exercise gave.
Ah.
So I'm like, there has to be a easier way to do this. Because we are great at finding more effective ways when it comes to productivity.
Right.
Right, when it comes to our work, when it comes to whatever, we have no issues looking for things that will give us the more efficient output of what we do. But we never look at our bodies the same way. Right? Our paradigm of you have to go out, you got to sweat it out, you got to be in a pool of blood or whatever, blood, sweat, and tears,
Yes.
you know, in order to get the body that you want,
Yes.
kind of thing. So I'm like, there's got to be a more effective and efficient way.
Yeah.
So I went down this long rabbit hole of trying to find that, and that's how I came across OsteoStrong. Right, and so with OsteoStrong, you can literally train and strengthen the entire body from head to toe in a 10-minute session.
Mm.
It's 10 minutes
Are you
once a
serious?
week.
Instant
10 minutes
Are you
once a week.
serious?
Instead of a 1 hour
Once a
workout.
week?
Instead of going in there working.
I want this one.
He
Right.
needs a membership.
Yes. Right. So instead of working
I
out
can't get him to
45 minutes.
exercise,
Yeah,
no.
right. And that's the thing too. A lot of people don't like to exercise
Stop
because
calling
they
me out.
don't want to feel. But it's not just you though, Frank. It really is not just you.
It's not just you.
It's not just you.
It's the majority.
It's the majority.
Workout today.
I know, but
Yeah.
we're talking to people.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But Frank is actually in the majority.
He is in the
Right,
majority.
he's in the
That's what I'm
majority.
saying.
Right, to where a lot of
Yes.
people, they don't want to spend 45 minutes to an hour
Every day.
every day
Every day.
in the gym,
Yep.
getting sweaty, you know, having to feel what they call the delayed onset muscle soreness, you know, when you feel the muscle soreness the next day.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like that. Right, so it's like there has to be a better way.
So you're not
I'm
sore,
not sore the next day.
but you're gonna get rid of the cellulite and firm up and do everything you'll be doing
You
in
can
a
do all of
1
that.
hour workout.
So in a 10-minute session, because our intention
10
is
minutes.
the intention behind it and is to you pretty much just provide the body the stimulus that it needs to adapt. That's all training does. That's all the body really even cares about. Is that did you provide me, the body, the stimulus I need to adapt to do what it is that you want me to do?
Is it doing the 20-minute cardio that doctors say you should get each day?
And then that helps.
You should
Right?
still do
You should
something
still do that. So yeah, so
cardio-ish to
like,
get the heart
But you
pumping.
can do that
But
from
the
a
20
walk.
you can do that from a
Yeah,
walk, right?
yeah,
Right.
anything
Correct. So I do
cardio.
recommend
I
that
walk.
for people is to go for a 20-minute walk.
Yes, you do.
Right, but again, you don't have to go do the 30-minute high intensity interval training exercise. It's not.
Right.
You can do that if you want to, right? Of course, I'm not saying it's not beneficial and what, but so you can do that if you want to, but it's not necessary.
Okay.
How long?
And this center's been around for 5 years.
You've been here 5 years.
Well, actually, I just bought it from the previous owners.
Oh, you just bought it.
Yeah.
When?
Ah.
Yeah.
Like recently?
Recently, this past
Oh.
February.
So what's interesting, I should share, James originally was a client there.
Yeah.
I was managing there, so he was my client first, and then he became my
Really?
boss.
Oh, that's fabulous. So you fell in love with the system as a client first.
Right, because I've known about OsteoStrong
That
for a
is
long
so
time.
cool.
I was just never in a spot that had one. So
Oh.
finally, when I got stationed here for my last duty station, right, it's like, oh, Colorado Springs has one, right? And so I went to go check them out and fell in love with it. And again, and I didn't believe it either,
Yeah.
right? Because I understood the science behind it and
Uh-huh.
whatnot. So I went to go give it a try, and I've never gotten so strong so quickly.
Really?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
We need to do a field. Can we do a field trip?
And then-
For
Sure.
us?
Yeah,
Can
of
we
course.
come and
Yeah.
do our 10-minute and
Yeah.
check
Totally.
this out?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we
so-
need to do that. That would be awesome.
We could do a video with you as well.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fun.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Field
amazing.
trip.
Right. And a lot of people don't believe it. And that's another paradigm I'm trying to shift because, again, the paradigm is you got to be huffing and puffing and sweating
Right.
and whatever. That's
in
the
pain.
paradigm. And in pain.
Yeah.
Right. If you're not sore, you didn't do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, kind of
Yeah.
That's not,
No
that's
pain,
not-
no
Right.
gain.
No pain,
Right.
no gain. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are no pain, all
All
gain.
gain.
Love it. No pain, all gain.
Right. Is what we do.
Mic drop.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that part of their slogan, or did you just make that up?
That's part of the
No.
slogan.
Oh, okay. That's
And the other
fabulous.
aspect of it too is that one, you don't sweat. So Frank looking all handsome right here in his
Yeah.
nice little suit, he can literally show up as he is right now in his suit right now.
Fantastic.
As
And
long
he
as
can-
you're not wearing stiletto heels,
Right.
you're good.
You're good.
Well, I think there's no chance of
Oh,
that.
I know you don't think you'll look good in the person.
I know the culture we live in today.
Right.
but
Sure,
I
but-
don't participate.
Nice shoes.
I don't do stilettos either. So.
I know I get some feedback from that comment. but I am allowed my own opinion,
Yeah.
right?
You're all right.
You would hurt yourself.
I would hurt
Yeah, trying to
myself.
walk around in those.
My wife won't even wear those.
I won't wear those.
Right.
Unless
Right.
I don't have to walk, I'll wear
Right.
it. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But that's the
Good choice.
point. It's
Good
like
choice.
just come as you are. As long as you find that 10 minutes in your day, there it is,
And
once a
rock
week.
it.
So
Yeah.
it's
Once a
super,
week.
super
Once a week.
simple.
Oh,
That
No
is
excuses
incredible.
there, right?
Is
Yeah.
this the only location?
It is.
Stetson
In the
Hills?
Springs.
Okay.
And where you in Stetson Hills?
Stetson Hills.
New
Right.
Powers.
Right.
Right.
Man.
Woo!
I
And,
like
and they
it.
have some amazing machines that they didn't speak about that are like, what are they called? Like the
The
modalities.
modalities.
The icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Right.
What is?
So those are the healing modalities. We call them the healing modalities. So that's what you would do after your session is complete.
Okay.
So we have things like the infrared light.
I
we have
love the infrared
right.
light.
Everybody.
Oh, it's
right.
my favorite.
And actually, the favorite thing we have there is the hydro massage beds.
Yes.
Right.
That
Just the
sounds nice.
sound-
That's why I go there.
Just the sound.
Right.
How did that feel?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So
That is
what's this? What do
everybody's
you do?
favorite.
You just lay down and it massages you?
Right. It's just a jet of water. You're laying down on like this water bed membrane thing, and it's just a jet of water just massaging your back.
Oh,
You
we are
s-
so
Yeah.
doing this field
It's-
trip. We need
select
more than
the
10
pressure.
minutes. We need 10 minutes plus all this other stuff.
So you're gonna
So
say
each-
you're gonna allow us to,
yeah,
to
you
let us have
actually
full experience. Why not?
Full experience.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
that'd be
And
great.
so we offer
Maybe
that
like in
because-
3 weeks or something.
Okay.
We have to figure
Yeah.
out our calendars.
We'll
Yeah.
look in.
Because the main session itself is 10 minutes, and then each modality is an additional 10 minutes. So each
Okay.
one of those modalities adds on.
Is that
So you can pick
extra
10
that
minutes.
people can, and they pay for each additional
Correct.
service?
So our base package is just the main workout.
Okay.
And then our packages go up from there, depending on how many modalities you want to do.
Do
Yeah.
you help people figure out what they need for the,
Yes.
which modality would be perfect for their situation?
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Who does
Yeah.
that? You or him?
Well, we both can.
It's a team effort?
I'm
Okay.
there, every day. So it is a team
So
effort.
it's just
but
you
we
two?
go through. No. We have a team,
Yeah, we have
a
a team.
nice team
Okay.
Yeah, we have a team of coaches.
of
that-
session
Okay.
coaches that will
Yeah.
help every person. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your new business.
Yes.
Right, and that's awesome that you've experienced it before you bought it,
Right.
and what the work it did for you,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I am.
You can you get like a
hyper
6-pack
interested.
too? I mean,
Well, when it comes to that, that's on the nutrition side of things, which
Okay.
of course I can talk to that also. So people who do want to go that route, because
Uh-huh.
primarily what we do at OsteoStrong is more strength training stuff.
right. Okay.
Right. So I can, and actually I'll probably make that promise now, is that if people come to us, right,
Yeah.
I promise you that you will gain strength within 12 sessions.
Wow.
Right. So I will guarantee that right now on this show, if they say they heard us on your show and
Yeah.
whatnot, they come in and they join us. Right. If they don't see any quantifiable strength gain in 12 sessions, I'll give them their money back.
That's incredible.
Right. Yeah. So I can guarantee strength gain. I can't guarantee fat loss because that's things you have to do outside of the center.
Yes.
Right. So of course I can
No
give you tips. I
burgers
can
and
give you-
fries.
Right.
Burgers.
Right. So I can give you those kind of tips and those
Yeah.
kind of whatever on how to.
I wanted
Some
some of that
salad.
fat loud
Right.
stuff too.
On a carrot. Yeah.
But a lot of science is coming out. Yes, body fat percentage matters, but what they see is probably, as far as longevity anyway,
Mhm.
but as far as having a better quality of life, they're saying strength is what matters more. Right, so if you're able to maintain your strength as you age, you'll have a better quality of life.
That's wonderful. So
Right.
my husband and I are dancers, and we do a lot of things dance world wise.
Okay.
So I literally could not exercise 10 days before this big event because I didn't want to be so sore.
Oh no, come join
But
us.
this is right up my alley.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, both you and John.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be incredible
Mhm.
for. Wow. Yeah. Thanks for bringing him on.
Yeah, he's
Thank
a great
you for
boss.
coming. Yeah.
He was a great client. Now he's a great boss.
Yes, indeed. You know, Joshua at Cressio, I don't know what part of your business you're trying to push out today, but you know, Lisa and I, in all transparency, Lisa and I are working with Joshua as well. And tell people about where you create the greatest value proposition in your business and how that up levels and creates space for them.
Sure. So I would say if you are a person who considers themselves as an entrepreneur, or if you're not, but you have a desire to create a business, these two categories of people is where we really want to express that we help. We've worked with a lot of your ability to project if you can sell and market your product or service. And so we help people go through that process. But for established business owners, we're really looking at what we call our AAM philosophy. And it's a philosophy that allows them to build a strategic roadmap to getting where they want to go in their business in more or less than 18 months. And we do this by analyzing what sort of issues they have in culture or human resources. And then we look at their sales funnel, their sales process, how they're automating their customer experience. And then we look at what innovative tools that they're using to try to encourage innovation from a technical perspective, but also unlocking that in the culture, because a lot of business owners don't give their people permission to innovate. And that's so key, is like when you're a business owner, like, and you have a great team of leaders and you're not telling them explicitly like, hey, innovate this process that we have, like find ways to improve it, find ways to save the company money, and I'll reward you for that. Mm-hmm. If you're not doing that in your business, like that one key will unlock more potential in your business, because you're giving your team permission to improve the customer's experience, and that will draw in more customers and more quality experiences for those customers.
And that affects the bottom line so much. Why is it that businesses don't inherently do that?
Sure. I think most business owners think of their business like a machine, like a system with gears. And the business is actually more like an organism, because it's ran by humans. And if we learn how to work with people better and learn how to build positions around personality instead of trying to fit people into these square holes, then we can find out ways to improve our business that can be stable through market shifts like COVID, or through ChatGPT trying to replace jobs in the market.
Yeah, Stephen Covey's youngest son wrote a book just recently called Trust and Inspire. And it's trying to flip the command and control cultures of business into a more trust and inspire opportunity where we inherently trust people until they prove otherwise.
Yes.
Right? And we're constantly trying to inspire them with our efforts and with our the way that we're doing business every day. That's really, really, really what I try to teach business and our culture change portion of my business as well. To flip from that one model to the trust and inspire model, so everyone feels like that they're contributing, they're a part, and that they matter in the movement of the business.
Sure.
Yes, and the reason I said I would, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, please go pick up a copy of Trust and Inspire. I think it's a seminal work for culture in today's market, with 5 cohorts of culture working together in business at the same time. People need to read that book and see how it can really transform their culture.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a great
Well,
work.
I did definitely find when I was in the business world, it was like so cutthroat. Everyone was all about themselves, and there was no inspiration or creativity at all.
Right.
Because you were hammered from the top bosses, and
Yeah.
they didn't want you to be a part of the decision-making process.
Sure.
I'd
Yeah.
watch them come out of meetings, and all of a sudden all these changes would happen.
Yeah.
And then we were like, you don't get bought in that way. You just, they're regurgitating like we're little baby birds.
Right.
Just, shoving down the process.
Totally,
know?
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so just before COVID hit, we established this mission in our organization for by 2030 we want to make remote work immersive, because we saw this shift of more people freelancing, more people turning towards the gig economy, and then COVID hit and it accelerated everything.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have this market instability where there's a lot of people who don't want the 9 to 5 because the 9 to 5 is typically a toxic culture.
Yes.
And if business owners can't fix that, then these people are going to build their own businesses and build the culture that they want for themselves. So how do you obtain these people with strong work ethics? You have to learn about what they want and use your company as a stepping stone for them to get where they want to go in life. And that's what we mean about building positions around people's personalities.
Absolutely. Or trust and inspire.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Same thing. We're saying the same thing. We're just using different words.
That's right.
Yeah. So Josh, in his business, is this funnel through Cressio or?
Yeah. So through Cressio, we have about 20 team members. About 10 of them are in the States, and then the rest are dispersed through international different countries. And we work with business owners to first move that first puzzle piece in with culture, but not as deep as you would go, Frank. And then once we get to that point where there's some leaders in position, we then work on automating a lot of processes to save them on their overhead and then teach them how to market better to increase their sales. And so there we're able to increase their profit margin over time.
Indeed. Wow, so needed. Once again, we'll give Josh an opportunity for you to find out how to reach him, because I think it's ultra important that young men like this who have a vision and processes available and ready to implement into your business that's going to make that bottom line look so more, such a better bottom line, and people that stay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bringing in new people is the bane of business today. It really is. And the turnover, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you are awesome in your space.
I was talking to a businesswoman the other day, and she told me that she gave one of her employees 4 promotions
Yeah,
just to
keep them.
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
In a year.
Yeah. That's actually a lot of our clients. They're struggling with the same thing, and I'm telling them you're encouraging them through extrinsic motivators,
You are.
and you need to shift that to intrinsic motivation.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
matter
like
of
that.
fact, science tells us that money is the third reason that people stay at a
Right.
job.
Mm-hmm.
It really, but people, when your culture sucks, they're always going to bring that to the top.
Right.
So if you're going to keep me here, pay me more.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Now your culture sucks.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where they're always going to
Yeah.
default to.
Well, and this
Yeah.
next generation, I mean, they will not tolerate it.
Right.
No,
No,
they'll
they won't.
walk.
Yeah, because
My-
there's so many other ways to make money now.
Yeah, my
Absolutely.
older daughter, she's 25,
Mm-hmm.
and she has walked off jobs like, no problem,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
And all 3 of my kids are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, who own their own businesses,
Right.
Similarly, because of these type of reasons, millennials, like you guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, so.
Do you guys have kids?
Maybe not.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Why, you're not married?
Nope, twice divorced.
Twice divorced?
Twice
Oh,
divorced.
right on.
Yep.
Me too.
Yep.
No, once divorced. Michelle, I'm sorry.
No,
still married.
she's listening live.
Michelle, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. This is our 17th
We love you,
year.
Michelle. He just said that because he's nervous because you're listening to
I
Michelle.
am. Every word I say, you can regurgitate back to me when I get home.
So, I want to ask James some questions.
Ask him.
So, your parents, tell us about your parents.
Oh yeah, so lovely. They they live in St. Petersburg now.
Florida?
Florida.
Ah,
Nice.
Yeah, they actually moved there, I think, 5 years ago.
And they're originally from Jamaica?
So actually, dad is Alabama.
Oh,
He's
really?
Alabama. Yep. Mom is Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay.
Kingston,
And
yeah.
how did he meet her? Military?
In the Air
or-
Force, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I think they were both stationed at Aguirre Air Force Base together.
Oh, that's such a nice spot.
As the story goes, I don't know if you want me to tell the story, but apparently my dad saw my mom riding her bicycle. My mom rode a bicycle everywhere around the base, right? But she also liked to wear these really short shorts.
Oh.
So my dad noticed.
Now to do it.
These short shorts.
She stood out.
Right, she stood out. And that's kind of cascaded from there.
Yeah. Awesome. That's cool. So they're now retired?
So my dad stayed in for the full 20 years. My mom got out after 11 years.
Okay.
Oh my.
And the only reason she did that is because there were occasions where they both would end up on temporary assignment together, and they had to leave me and my brother elsewhere.
Oh.
Right, so the final draw was we were living in Okinawa, Japan at the time.
I was there.
Yep, cool.
That's a great spot.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
I love that.
So my mom went on temporary duty assignment somewhere, and then literally maybe a week later, my dad came down on orders.
Oh,
Right, so next thing I
wonderful.
know, or next thing we know, my brother and I are getting dropped off at a family friend.
Okay.
Right, and it just so happened, my dad ended up in the same location my mom was at.
Oh, wow.
So my mom sees my dad, she's like,
Yeah.
where are my babies? Like, what are you doing here?
Yes.
Yeah, kind of thing.
It's like a mini honeymoon.
Right, and so my mom's like, okay, never again. It's like, I don't want to leave my kids at
Yeah.
the drop of a hat
Yeah.
at a friend's house or whatever.
I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and so, I don't know if it was a hard decision or not, because my mom actually outranked my dad at the time.
Oh, okay.
Right, but my mom made the decision to get out instead of my
Yeah.
dad. Yeah,
That's
at
great.
the time.
Yeah.
Where in Alabama?
Leeds, Alabama.
Okay.
It's the home of Charles Barkley. So
Oh,
my dad
really?
actually grew up with Charles Barkley.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's 60 now.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. So Charles Barkley, and you're talking about, since you brought up the James,
Yeah.
a little bit of his background and etc. She's been divorced a couple times.
Yes.
So throw
I'm
that,
twice
throw that in for
He's trying to get me back, but we're fine. I proudly say I'm twice divorced.
Yeah, but she's thriving right
Yes.
now. I'm telling
I'm
you.
married.
She's got an amazing husband. She really does. How did you guys meet, Valerie and Joshua?
In Orlando, Florida, through work relationships. So I was working at an architectural firm, and we hired Josh, or my boss hired Josh's team. He was part of that team to revamp the tech stuff, all of the website and the video, and he was part of that production crew, which was really cool. And it's funny because originally one of their the account manager at Josh's team, she knew me already for a few months, and she's like, oh, I want to set you up with this one guy, talking about Joshua.
Uh-huh.
And I asked, how old is he? And I was like, not interested, because
Why?
he's a few years younger than me. At the time,
He's caught up.
he's caught up. But at the time, he was just 23. And I was like, oh my God, I was 26.
Oh.
And
26.
but if you think about it, like a 23-year-old guy is like an 18-year-old guy.
That's
It's like,
correct.
That's true.
you know, it's just. But
Fun male fact.
so
Sorry, guys.
originally I said
Maturity
no.
wise.
How old
Exactly,
is that?
maturity wise. But then I got to know him when he was doing like the shoot, the production stuff, all of his work stuff, and I realized, I'm like, well, maybe we could maybe be friends and chit chat. And then I quickly noticed he was super mature and great.
Yeah.
He was always this mature. I mean, he always had his leanings. Because you can see.
He definitely has a good, he's always been very mature in certain aspects, but, at the time, 23, sure, he wanted to go out, have fun, have some drinks, whatever, and that's, totally normal, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's always been pretty mature. From ever since I've met him, anyways. Before that, who knows?
Oh.
I don't
Before
know.
that was Dennis the Menace. apparently.
Dennis.
Yes,
Menace.
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah.
Taking apart
I used to do that
explosives.
too. Take apart fireworks.
Oh,
Really?
you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
that too.
Oh my God.
Anyone else want to confess to that?
Yeah,
I
Frank.
know. Not
Yeah.
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been married now?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
7 years.
Mhm.
So that means you're only 30 now?
I'm 33.
33.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
you
dated
met,
up.
then 3 years later
Yeah.
we're married.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Don't
It's
do the
work.
math with me, please.
I already have it in my head, but
Okay.
I say it on the microphone. So.
Like she's old.
You know.
Yeah, like she's old or
Right.
something, right? Yeah, I'm 11 years older than Michelle, and that puts us at the same maturity level.
Mm.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Like everybody in my center is younger than me. Like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
How old are you?
45.
Are you? 45. Okay.
Going on 27.
Do you
Right?
dance? Do you dance?
I used to when I was younger, anyway, and I
Me too.
think trying to get back into it because I used to do tap. I used
Oh,
to
cool.
love tap.
Really?
Yeah, I used to love tap.
Oh,
That's
awesome.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you're ever, we're always looking for male leads, so
Okay.
if you're ever interested in partner
Oh.
dancing.
Yeah,
Okay.
you like.
I'll check it out.
Do you ask every client, everyone that comes
Everyone
in?
I ever talk to, I love dance. I
Yeah.
share it.
Wait,
Sure.
just
and-
males?
No, females too. No, I'm
I
like,
like
Do you
to dance. I do.
do
I
you?
enjoy
Joshua.
dancing.
Yeah. She's an amazing dancer.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
you can be too, and then you dance together and you keep
I
that marriage
know.
alive for
Oh,
another
yeah.
55
Remember, because of
years.
your heritage, you feel it.
Yes.
Yes, it's in our blood.
Yes, it's in your blood, man.
That's awesome.
We'll have a great dance and then go eat some asado.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's funny. He said earlier that he's the youngest at his center, but I think he's the only one that could do a split.
You can do the splits?
You can just split.
Yeah,
Can you
I'm
do-
very mobile.
Like-
yeah. And,
like-
and
Like this way,
flexible. So
not
yeah,
the
like
stra-
that.
Oh, not the
Not
straddle
the
one.
straddle.
Oh, okay,
but
but you can do that.
yeah.
Okay. all
I was
right.
like super impressed. I was like, what?
So tap, did you do ballet too?
Tap and jazz.
Okay.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
You play an instrument and sing too?
I used to play saxophone.
Look at this!
Oh, wow.
Hello,
Jack of all
Benny G.
trades here.
Yeah, so
Master
I was all
of-
into the arts.
Can
Yeah,
you
yeah,
sing too?
yeah. I pretend I can in the shower. Maybe.
Right on.
Everybody can sing.
Do you do
here.
karaoke?
I do karaoke.
Okay.
Yeah, I do karaoke.
Anything else, yeah?
No, I'm just, he's a very interesting guy.
Isn't he? I think so.
Did you hear that, ladies?
That's right.
Or do you have a girlfriend? I should
I do
ask
have,
that first.
yeah, I do have a
Oh,
girlfriend.
I'm sorry. Never mind, ladies.
Sorry,
In
ladies.
case you're
Oh, ladies.
listening, Lisa's trying to.
You gotta hook him up.
Lisa trying to backdoor your game. So.
Hey, you did that on the show with, who was that, Kristen Kelly?
Yeah.
Yes, when she was newly single. Yes.
But she was single.
She was, but she had a boyfriend.
Oh, she did.
Yes.
It's the details, you know? The
We didn't
details.
know that though.
We don't get wrapped up in the details.
Right.
We just like to find things out on the show.
No ring, do the thing.
Oh my God. Oh, right. You're just funky today.
I got ringed up.
You're ringed up.
Wait, where's yours?
Ring.
Give me a ring,
Just
Josh.
checking.
Joshua's like, oh thank God, I put it on this.
Oh, that is so awesome. Notice how Valerie grabbed his hand.
Yeah, she went.
Show your stinking ring, man.
I think I have a bruise now.
Oh, poor
It's
guy.
that OsteoStrong.
Yeah.
I actually have a girlfriend who went to your place. She goes, she lives out in Black Forest, and
Oh, okay.
she's in her late 60s, maybe early 70s,
Okay.
and she does it for the bone density stuff.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
to strengthen the bone, because that happens to women. And
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny that happens to men also.
It does.
Does
It's
it?
1 in 3 men.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
You get it. Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was a female thing, but
All
Yeah.
the focus is on the females.
All the focus on the females only be, I'm not sure why, because especially
Yeah.
after menopause, that's how it works. kind of
oh
thing.
really?
Right,
Okay.
Right. Actually, it starts to decline for most people after the age of like 35. So from 35 on, it starts to decline,
You
but
should
it's
know.
very prominent in premenopausal and postmenopausal women.
Oh, I better get started.
Right,
I
so
think
that- so-
I'm premenopausal.
Oh, I thought you were already rolling in that game.
No! Shut up! No! I actually thought I've asked the doctor a couple times because I did have a full hysterectomy and you're supposed to start younger.
Oh, sure.
But no, I'm still pre-menopausal.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's right in that window between pre and post where the majority of the bone loss occurs,
Okay.
or where it can occur.
So that's where all the
Right.
emphasis is. That's why
Yes.
everyone's like, it's women, women, women.
Yeah,
But
that's
Right,
why the
but-
commercials are all about
Right,
women.
it's all about women.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
I get it too.
What an awesome discussion. You know, I want you guys to do one thing for us before we begin to wind down here and end the show today. Our show is all about infusing encouragement and hope into the community and those that are listening. And you've done that today. Thank you for your joy, laughter,
Yes.
allowing us, because I know this guy is not easy to make laugh. Look at that serious look he has on his face most of the time I ever see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get it, man.
He's just so focused.
Laugh after I get through with you, all right? Tell us the community something to encourage them today from your perspective. Joshua.
Yeah, so I think if you have an idea for a business or you already have an existing business, my word of encouragement for you is to use your pain to identify how you're solving that pain for others and immerse your business with that. And that one thing will move your business to another level, because that is going to be the reason why people want to work with you, why they want to go to your business instead of the competition.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
good.
Thank you. Valerie?
Sure. So I encourage those that feel a little hopeless when it comes to their health. There's folks that I've met in my career in the past where they're just like, well, this is what it is. Aging is harder and everything gets more difficult, but I encourage folks to really like seek out different alternative methods that maybe weren't introduced to you at any point, but there are ways to heal yourself. There are ways to really have a more optimal lifestyle. And it always saddens me when I see folks that just feel like this is it because I'm X amount of years old, and you really can turn that around and do something about it. So there's always hope, whether it's with us or anywhere else. Like, seek that.
Indeed, that's encouraging.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Right. And actually, I was going to piggyback off of that,
Okay.
though, too, because believe it or not, it's not as difficult as they think that it is. Actually, in my opinion, yes, we all go through pain, we all go through trauma, but there's always a solution to that. So instead of falling into your pain and falling into your trauma, use that as your encouragement to find your way out of whatever it is that you're in. There's always a solution somewhere. You just have to be open to find that. Find that little bit of gleam of light. It's there, right? And that will be your solution to get out of whatever situation that you are in life, right? And it's probably this. And honestly, the solution is probably easier than you think it is. Right, we make it so much more complicated.
Yes,
I don't know
we
why
do.
our brains do that. It's like we find the most complicated answer to the most simplest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so the answer is probably easier than what you think it is.
Yes. So James is just saying the KISS method is the method.
It is the method. Yep, it is. That
Yeah.
it is. Yep.
Keep it simple.
Yep.
Keep it simple.
Stupid.
That's the other end.
You said the rest.
Oh my. Well, those are the guy. This is what we've done today. why am I? I'm a little
I
off
don't know.
here.
It's
Yeah,
because
okay.
we're doing a new script.
We're doing this script here.
Yes.
Yeah. So, had a wonderful time with you all today. Thank you for being a part of this show.
Yes.
Before we wrap up today, I want to spotlight a couple of things. First of all, our sponsors, just one more time. Cressio offers top-tier business and marketing consulting, specializing in helping underprivileged and diverse entrepreneurs, particularly in the Southeast region, reach their potential. If your business needs a strategic partner, visit Cressio, CRESSIO.com. And also Pro Media with the great Christopher Roberts, your reliable source for high-impact video and photo content in Colorado. With their commitment to growth and staying current with media trends, Pro Media is ready to bring your vision to life. Visit ProMediaColorado.com to discover more. And as always, Lisa, give us something as we go out.
Okay. Oh, am I reading this or
No.
not? Okay, we're
No.
not doing
You don't have to read
All
it.
right, everyone. It was awesome talking to you all, and I would just encourage you all to do self-care. That is a very, very big, important piece in all of your lives. If you don't care for yourself, then you won't be there 100% for your bosses or your family. So please, please, please take care of yourself first.
Take care of yourself first, and make sure that you reach out to innovatesuccess.com for all of your needs and your construction needs, business, residential, anything that you need. Lisa has vetted those businesses for you, and she's ready to send out competent and incredible people to your home, safe people that would get the job done for you. InnovateSuccess.com. That concludes today's episode of the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa. We hope our conversation today open in January. Well, good afternoon, everyone. You're on the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa on Motivation Monday. We are so glad to have you here as always. You can call us if you have a question for one of our panel today at 719-300-7936. And we are on the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa at Family Flavors, the slide, a nonprofit internet radio station that really pumps out opportunities to help our community. One way they're doing that, July 23rd, is Backpack to Business backpack giveaway, and that is
School supply drive for the kiddos.
School supply drive for the kiddos. So
Yeah.
give them a call. And where can they drop those off, Lisa?
They can drop it here at Family Flavors or at Dr. Warner Chiropractic Office, which is a couple blocks away from here.
Couple of blocks away. We need those for kids that aren't able to purchase those themselves, families and things. We want to help our community in that regard. So bring down your supplies for those. As again, welcome to the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa, where we provide a platform for entrepreneurs and community-focused individuals to expand their reach and create a positive impact in the Colorado Springs and beyond community. And we're delighted to have you with us here today. We want to make sure that we shout out our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by Cressio, your trusted partner in business and marketing consulting. With a focus on automation and strategy development, Cressio is dedicated to helping businesses streamline their process and grow their audience. Learn more about their services at Cressio, Cressio.com. Also, the incredible Christopher Roberts is always in the studio with us, doing live YouTube and live Facebook as well. He's the owner of Pro Media, Colorado's leading service for professional video and photo content. If you have a vision, Pro Media is here to help you bring it to life. Check them out at ProMediaColorado.com. Also, that was a lot to say, Lisa.
That was a lot.
I'm back.
Nice work.
Yes, from mouth to mouth here. Okay.
She's like, what?
She's like, get out of my face.
She doesn't know you well enough yet.
I know, right? Yeah, I did a class for her. She's a part of the Thrive group in the Southeast, helping, and I do a class with those guys every new cohort. So I got a chance to meet her there, and we met for coffee this morning. So we'll introduce her to you in a moment. But we are your hosts, Frank and Lisa, and we're not only passionate about encouraging our community, but we're also successful entrepreneurs ourselves. Allow me to introduce you to Lisa's Innovate Success venture. Her mission is simple yet very powerful: to connect clients with reputable local businesses ready to serve families right now. Since 2021, Lisa has made it her mission to connect hundreds of local businesses, resulting in increased productivity, expanded client bases, and emerging collaborative efforts. Essentially, Innovate Success networks on behalf of your business. Lisa is not just a business partner, she's a growth catalyst, specializing in referral growth, offering tailored packages based on workable and affordable collaborative partnerships. Innovate Success is your goal for business growth solution.
Thank you, Frank. Hi, everyone. I'm thrilled to introduce my co-host, Mr. Frank Sinclair. As a community leader, business strategist, and the region's #1 encouragement coach via his company, Dream Again, he is dedicated to helping individuals and businesses alike achieve their goals. With Frank's guidance, you'll find renewed confidence, hope, and capability to live the life you've always dreamt of. Because Frank truly believes that a simple encouragement can change a life. So if you're looking for someone to fill you with hope and cheer you on as your coach, Frank is the person you need. You can find him on dreamagainllc.com And before we get started, all of our listeners out there, if you've got a question, a story, or some wisdom to share with our community, we'd love for you to join the conversation. Just dial our studio line at 719-300-7936 and be a part of the show today.
We'd love to hear from you,
Yes,
wouldn't we, Lisa?
we would love to.
Absolutely.
And don't be shy, because your voice matters to us and we're excited to hear from you. So call in anytime within the hour and
Indeed.
let's be encouraged together.
And I know Lauren Clayton would love to tell you what's what.
Exactly.
Just saying, she is not shy on the what side, right?
Me? Shy?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, with that being said, about Lauren not being shy, Lisa, why don't you introduce to us those that are part of our panel today?
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, first of all, Lauren, for being our panel host. I appreciate all of the guests that you brought today. So, for starters, this is Lauren, and we all know, like, and love her. Lauren Clayton owns Clarity for Your Chaos, professional organizers in the Colorado Springs area and beyond. Lauren specializes in ADHD and shame reduction when it comes to creating spaces that serve her clients instead of her clients serving their spaces. She works in conjunction with local mental health practitioners in order to make sure that whole wellness is part of the plan that she and her team provides for their clients. And then we've got Mr. Ray Whitcomb,
Yeah.
father of 4.
Yes.
He owns, do you own the company?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he owns local upcycling expert, he's a local upcycling expert, ooh, that's a mouthful, and owner of Junk Removed Now, has a passion for creating art with his junk, and he's going to be presenting at,
Territory Days.
and what day is that?
The Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend, right around the corner. And then also Miss Chelsea with the beautiful short hair. I love her hair. It's fabulous.
Thank you.
So Chelsea Blancas, cancer warrior
Yes.
and owner of Love Plus Vine.
It's Love and Vine.
Oh, Love and Vine, sorry.
Yes.
A new wellness company that creates therapeutic essential oil-based products and wellness kits geared towards people undergoing cancer treatments and surgery recovery. Oh, wow. We are currently working on developing a nonprofit that will partner with Love and Vine products and provide financial grants to cancer patients. Wow, this is wonderful.
Oh, my.
Who
Yeah.
want to pursue holistic or functional medicine in conjunction with their current medical treatment plans. That's incredible.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Chelsea.
Thank you.
And we have Miss Leanna Buckingham, owner of Embracing Neurodiversity. It's a big topic, I'm sure.
It is a big time.
my
I
favorite.
found out a lot about it
Yeah,
this morning. Did a video with Leanna this morning as well, because we're trying to push out the message of neurodiversity as well. So we'll get back around, because I know most of you listening to us are sitting on the edge of your seat, Michelle. Just wanting to know the big picture of all these subjects, how they correlate, and how these people collaborate with one another in their individual spaces as well. So first of all, Lauren, since you're our panel host, tell us a little bit about who Lauren Clayton is and how in the world did she end up in the space she's in today?
Well, that's a good story. I am a Colorado native. I was born and raised here, and I'm also an Air Force brat, which means I've never moved, which is weird. My dad had a permanent position at the Air Force Academy, so
A general, we just might throw that in.
He
for
just
free.
had a permanent position at the Air Force Academy.
General's daughter.
Yes.
Woo!
I am. Yes.
I bet the guys had a hard time dating you.
You know,
They were too
there's a lot of
scared.
red flags if you're willing to date the general's daughter. Just saying.
But with those blue eyes that you have, I know they were tempted.
you Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Established.
Established. But I also was diagnosed with ADHD when I was a child. My mom had a brain tumor when I was in the 3rd grade, so she actively was missing portions of her brain when I was a child. So I ended up being very, very lucky, since my dad did have access to military health care, and because there was a medical issue with my mother's physical brain, we were put into therapy at a young age in order to work around my mother's active mental illness. And so because of that, I was privy to being able to have access for my ADHD, my neurospiciness, as my sister used to always say.
I like that neurospiciness.
Yeah, neurospiciness.
Did you coin that?
No, I don't think so. I'm sure I heard it somewhere on TikTok, let's be honest. But I use it all the time. But also, like, that gave me a ton of access because I am the talented, gifted burnout kid. My sister used to always say, like, we had you tested, because just like Sheldon, they had me tested because they didn't know what to do with me, because my brain was all over the place. It was very different, and my dad was a general. So I didn't fall in line well at all. Still don't. Sorry, Dad. But throughout the years of me dealing with my ADHD, I was put on Ritalin and medicines and things like that, and I never liked the way that they made me feel. So then when I was about 21-ish, I stopped taking medicine, and I decided to dive in really deep with my ADHD and find out, like, what environmental things I was able to do, like creating systems. I was horrible, still am, at time management, but I was at least 20 minutes late, and now I'm only about 5, so I'm making progress, okay?
On
And
time today.
I was early, actually. I'm very proud of myself. But just in general, creating these systems in order to make sure that I could keep up with my own life. And then I had kids, and then I had postpartum depression, and it just took a bunch of friends telling me that I should be a professional organizer, and then I humored them 3.5 years ago, and it's blown up ever since, because there's a huge need in trying to create systems that work for our brains and not for what Martha Stewart wants your house to look like. The biggest thing I love to say is the dish's purpose is to get dirty. Like, that's the purpose of the dish.
Yeah.
So when I walk into somebody's house and they apologize for their dishes, I tell them that the dish's purpose is to get dirty, because that's the purpose of the dish. It's supposed to be dirty, it's supposed to be clean, it's supposed to be in use, it's supposed to be stored. Its purpose is one of these 4 places,
Yes.
and there's no shame associated with that. Laziness is just a social construct, right? So once we remove a lot of those aspects and we create a space that functions for us and how our brain works, then we're able to really do a lot more when it comes to whatever goals we have in mind. And that's been my biggest passion.
Yeah, you kind of got ahead of us, but
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
What?
I
No.
was like, how do we get to be currently for your chaos? And she's already squaring you away.
I got you. And talk amongst yourselves.
Oh my gosh.
Anybody ever remember coffee talk?
Just a
Coffee
social
talk?
construct. That's all that is.
That's all it is.
Thank you, Lauren. Lauren owns Clarity for Your Chaos. The name is incredible.
Yep.
I think it really speaks volumes to what she does. It says everything, actually, because there is some clarity and everyone has some chaos, right? So everybody does. Yeah, so Ray,
Yeah.
it's good seeing you again.
It's good seeing
my
you
friend.
too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yes.
Ray's all long-haired and handsome here.
I know, going the hippie route.
Yeah,
Here we
yeah.
go. Trying to be like Jesus
Yeah.
every day, man.
You're doing the Jesus look.
Other than your wife.
All right, yeah, I can't change that. I can't change that. I don't have enough
I
melanin
just
in
thought
my
I'd throw
skin.
that in for free.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Next one I gotta pay for. Oh, okay.
He's somewhere between you and me.
There we
right?
go. There we go. More people need to hear that. You should shout that from the rooftops, all right?
Ray, we're glad to have you. Last time Lisa and I saw you, you're on a stage several years ago, even before COVID,
Yeah.
talking about junk remove now.
Mhm.
Tell us about that, Ray. What was the genesis of that business, and why do you want to do that?
I've done glorified grunt work my whole life.
Mm.
And then my brother was doing junk jobs under the table. And then he got bored with it. He's also neurospicy. And he got bored and he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, I know how much money you're making. Like, why do you not want to do that? And he was like, I want to do something else. Okay, cool. I could do that. He didn't have an LLC or anything, so I took the idea and did what he did, and that's kind of how it started.
Made it legal.
Yeah, made it legal. Yeah. Got an LLC, got insurance, yeah. Went through the proper steps, and then I never fit in real well with a job, you know. And then I solved too many problems. I'm also ADHD, so when I go into any job, then I would see something that I was like, you know, you're adding like 6 steps. Let me just cut them 6 steps out and make this faster. But the problem with that is that then you look like you're lazy because you finished the tasks too fast. And then an employer is like, oh, I have more tasks for you. And I'm like, cool, you going to pay me more? No. Okay. Right? So then it's like, well, if I'm going to get paid what I think I'm worth, then I have to figure out a way to make that efficient or effective. Right?
Okay.
And so that's why I got into junk. But then the creative side is that I've always been creative. I've always desired to make things out of things. And then when you haul away junk, it's anything inside a house or inside a garage.
Right.
Right? And depending on the client, depends on what they think is junk. And sometimes the things aren't really that junk, and you can resell and flip or fix and make into something else.
Yeah.
Right?
Our friend, a moment of recognition and shout out to Matthew Vieira, who tagline was, anything you consider junk, we consider junk, right? That was his tagline. He just recently passed. We miss him in community.
Yeah.
So with you being here, thank you for giving me a second to do a shout out to Matthew and his family that's left behind.
Yeah.
Did you know him?
Yeah.
I did know him. Yeah. And if anybody's listening, they know them, like, please support that family. Because, like, yes. The initial agony has begun and the funeral has happened, but he has 3 sons and a wife, and they still need support.
They do.
There's some heartaches that are happening with that, and like his son came up to me and joked to me about junk jobs, and I was like, I'd love to laugh with you right now, but are we supposed to laugh right now? If you know Matthew,
you're supposed to laugh right now.
We did. We had some good laughs,
yeah.
but that's the. Think about them, and if you can help, I still believe the GoFundMe's up, and reach out to them and send some support.
Well, thank you. And Ray, what is that creative piece for you?
What do you mean?
Yeah, you say I've always been a creative, and I get junk. Sometimes it ain't junk.
Right.
You just think it's junk. But so, what do you do?
What do you do with this stuff?
What do you do with this stuff?
I'll repaint things. I'll repaint canvases. I'll take metal and make them into animals. I'll take wood and redesign stuff. And part of that is just because I felt for a long time that people didn't see me for, one of the things that comes with ADHD, and I'm sure that you can talk about this, is rejection sensitivity, right? As you are, ADHD has been termed, that's the wrong name for it. It's not that there's attention deficit, it's that you actually absorb a lot of the surroundings around you. So you also pick up on micro expressions, and you can understand a room faster than most people. So then you understand when things start to shift, which means you're really cognitive of people starting to reject you. So you get really sensitive to that, right? So as I've gone throughout the course of my life, I've been very attuned to people judging me, right? Because I didn't look good on paper, and I was that student in school who was like, hey, since you want me to learn this, say this teacher's 50 years old. When have you used this in your life?
Oh, you were that student.
I was. And if they could not explain to me when they would use it in their life, then I am immediately then why are you teaching this
Our
to me?
13-year-olds are the same way,
Yeah.
especially with math.
Oh,
Yeah.
math is the
Oh
worst.
my gosh.
Right.
Really?
So if you can't explain to me when you use it in your real life, then immediately I have lost complete interest in that.
No, not happening.
Right.
Agreed.
Right. And then same thing would happen with homework. If why am I going to school for 8 hours and then I have to do work at home? Isn't 8 hours
Enough. Exactly.
Right. So then that led to okay, if we're not doing something really important today, then I don't have to go to school today.
Oh.
Right. So I never finished high school. And I went to go take my GED test, and the lady, I take it, and it's like 20 minutes. She gives me the papers, I take it, I hand it back. She's like, why are you here? And I said, because I think homework and attendance is optional. Like, I know why I'm here. She was like, no. Why are you here? You are too smart to be here.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, well, just because I don't test the way that they think I should test doesn't mean I didn't learn the material.
Mm-hmm.
I learned the material, and then once I've learned it, then it's like we don't need to have like 3 more weeks on this topic,
Yeah.
right? So then the creative part of that is that for a long time I felt like people have judged me as junk. They have judged me as less, right? Because of that attention to rejection, right? And so that I'll have this little bit of like pride inside of me where it's like, fine, like if you think I can't do this, just watch, just wait, I'll show you. Like when I first started the junk business, no bank would give me a loan, so I started with a 72 Chevy truck and a trailer I bought at a garage sale for $200. And I hand loaded and hand unloaded for 3 years until I traded 8 cords of wood for a truck that had a dump bed.
Nice.
Right. But then it had wood sides and they'd flop, and the deck had a spot where I put my foot through it, and so I'd screw in boards to make it hold. And then I was like, I want it to look nice, like these big franchises.
Yes.
So then I taught myself through YouTube to weld, and I welded it all metal, all by myself, painted it in my backyard.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But then I take these items that I find that I'm like, oh, these are cool grandpa tools, right? Like these cool old school tools.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, but that looks like an owl.
I love the owl.
Why don't I make this an owl? Or this looks like I have a big wagon wheel, and I'm like, it'd be really cool to have a red-tailed hawk inside of that.
Yeah.
So then I made a red-tailed hawk inside of it. But so that I'm showing you that like just because things are quote-unquote social construct of junk doesn't mean they're actually trash.
Right.
So then I'll repurpose them and show them to people that look like the things in your life that you are making an assumption about are not as they seem, and if you change your perspective, it changes the outcome.
Wow.
Do you guys have a collaborative together with what you do?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why she invited him.
I was gonna say she didn't.
They were hanging out. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Are you two
I
dating?
could.
No.
I'm like, wait,
no.
what?
Yeah.
They were
He's married.
Oh, you don't have a ring on.
I don't.
Good
No,
on
look.
you, sir.
My ring has started like activating on my skin.
You need to get the rubber ring.
I
Yeah.
know,
They
but
sell
okay.
packs of 4 on Amazon.
They do. The ring was made by my best friend's
Social
dad, who was a
construct,
machinist,
I
and
feel like
he
that's
would take the
between the two
scrap machinings and like titanium, and he made me a ring. And
Ooh,
so it's like
cool.
it goes to like the heart of how I work
Okay.
as well. But the last couple days I'm getting too hot, and I have all these blisters on my
Yeah.
ring, and so then I took it off. I told my wife, we talked about it. She's like, fine, just go, you need to heal it. And I was like, I know, but it's like a big old piece of metal.
I would have been ordering you some rubber rings if you
For the
don't
tattoo.
mind.
Dude, a tattoo, I
Because
think
then
I'd
when
do
you
a
do
tattoo.
take it off, it's still there.
Yeah, Ray, you're much too handsome to be walking around empty-fingered.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You gotta
know what I
protect
mean? Yeah, no, I throw that in for free as well. Yeah, I normally charge for that.
Oh, I'll keep a tattoo.
Young lady,
Yes.
we are so
Chelsea.
glad you're here. Is it Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Yep.
Yeah. I recently joined the cancer parade.
You did?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Oh.
yeah,
Well,
so.
like you said, the cancer parade.
He now
Yeah.
has.
You get cancer.
Yeah.
Well, they
I'm
cut
sorry.
it out,
Yeah.
but what's
Yeah.
the status?
Yeah, they think they removed it all.
Mhm.
I go back, matter of fact, after this show, do a PET scan
Yeah.
to make sure that that's the case, and we move on from there. Yeah. And
It
I
is
think-
just one step at a time. Moving
Yeah.
on.
It is one
Positive
step.
thinking.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It is a long journey.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your journey.
Well, I am also raised in Colorado Springs. Yeah.
Woo,
I'm an Air Force Major brat.
You a major brat?
Yeah.
Major brat.
Yeah. He retired here though, so I didn't.
Did you all know each other as kids?
No,
No.
ironically,
okay.
we didn't.
No, I actually did her website. Well,
Yeah.
we're rebuilding
We're rebuilding
it
it
too. So
now.
my previous career is in digital marketing, so
Ah.
website design and ad buying and all of that.
Yeah, very cool.
But when I got cancer, well, so let me start out. So I actually found out I was pregnant with my third child 2 years ago, and in my first OB appointment, they found a lump in my breast. So I got a biopsy, did the whole process, and I found out I had borderline stage 3 breast cancer.
Wow.
So I actually spent the whole pregnancy doing chemotherapy, all of the surgeries, and
While pregnant?
yeah, while pregnant. Yeah.
I didn't
So-
know you could do that while you're pregnant.
You can. A lot of people don't know that. It's really interesting to see the nurses like, I feel weird doing this to you
Wow.
right now. But actually the timing worked out perfectly. Like it was a godsend, like the way that it was timed out in terms of like the stages of pregnancy and just the time frames of weeks. Like between, like after 12 weeks, then it's way more safe. And then when I had surgery, it was between 24 and 26 weeks. It's the best prime time for the health of the baby during anesthesia and all of that. So, yeah, I actually, it was quite an interesting experience. And I had remission for a while, but I have a biopsy tomorrow, so, because I've had some new stuff. So I'm still on the journey, it comes back. But, yeah, I grew up with essential oils. My mom was, you know, kind of holistic medicine minded and always has been. So during, you know, I've always created my own products for myself. And I was creating products during my process of cancer as well, because what I saw is like everybody wants to give gifts, right? When you know somebody going through cancer, it's like you want, as a friend or a family, coworker, whatever, to provide gifts to these people. And oftentimes, like, I got, you know, numerous fuzzy socks and blankets and candles and all these things, which is so nice and generous. But for me, like, having all of these candles in my house, I'm not going to burn them. They are full of toxic chemicals, you know, most products in the market. So, you know, I'm already detoxing heavily from all of the chemo, and so that's the last thing that I want to do is have, you know, certain body products on my skin, or just like the candles, and, you know. So I, during the process, I really felt like I wanted to create these care packages. I call them wellness kits because they are therapeutic and, you know, highly beneficial to both the emotional and the physical, for other people, so that people do have these, you know, wellness kits that they can provide to people that they know, and it's actually healthy and beneficial. So,
Wow.
yeah.
And so that's what your company's doing now,
Yes.
is providing helpful things
Helpful
to
products. Yes.
to cancer
Yes,
patients.
and beyond. So it's not just cancer. So Love and Vine, I mean, we've got body butters and essential oil rollers that are for nausea, immunity boosting, headache balms, muscle rubs, bath bombs, and, you know, a slew of other things. So I have a lot of friends that buy it from me that are not going through cancer, so it's just good natural products anyway.
Good natural.
But the wellness kits specifically I make, and I actually custom make them tailored to the person's needs. So depending on if they are just going straight through surgery, if they have, you know, any kind of emotional issues like depression and whatnot, because a lot of essential oils are geared towards the emotional support. So I handpick and hand make all of the body butters and the essential oil rollers and whatnot, depending on what they're going through. So they can custom make them and tailor them.
That's
Wow.
incredible. Because the bath bombs, I mean, my daughter, when she'd go to birthday parties and they'd give them away, I would only let her put her hands in the bowl of water, put the bath bomb and play with it that way.
Yeah.
But every time she'd take her hands out, they were on fire.
Oh, yeah.
They were red from all the chemicals.
Yep.
I'm like, can you imagine that if I would have let her soaked in it?
That's exactly the problem.
Yes.
So, yeah, these are laden with very moisturizing properties as well, jojoba oil, shea butter, but it has the essential oils for, you know, for sleep. So a lot of cancer patients have trouble sleeping. So we do have ones that are tailored towards kind of a more restful sleep, zen, just soothing, that are good for the skin and just relaxing. So you can buy specific kits if you want more of like a pampering focus versus like an actual, like if you are going through chemo and need like I said, the headaches and the nausea to kind of tame some of those side effects.
Do you know Marissa Searle?
No.
You need to meet her. She's got the apothecary off Black Forest Road,
Okay.
right in their little
Yeah.
small business area, their business zone. But you should go
That would
there,
be a good
visit her,
connection.
Yeah.
talk to her. She's incredible.
Yeah.
You guys could swap notes
Yeah.
incredibly because she's
I would love to integrate with people who are
Yes.
like-minded, and I'm also looking for board members for the nonprofit side of things that we're creating too. So, because that's in the works, we're building the nonprofit because it'll pair. So the products will be the product side of it, where if you purchase a basket, a percentage of the proceeds will actually go towards the grant fund for the people who are wanting to do holistic medicine in conjunction. Because for me, the functional medicine, insurance doesn't cover, so
Yeah.
it's all out of pocket, and it's like, for me, it was so important that, you know, a lot of the medical treatment is treating the cancer itself only, but not the underlying cause, right? You have cancer for a reason, and it's important to, you know, really get your body in line. And, you know, often autoimmune disorders are part of that. You know, you have a high inflammation, so correcting the issue, so you don't get, you know, recurrences.
Absolutely. Wow.
That's beautiful. what
It
you
is
do.
beautiful what
Thank
you
you.
do.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing it. And you hadn't done a 501(c) yet, right?
It's in the process, yeah.
It is.
Mhm.
Yeah. If that becomes a problem for you, reach out to me, because you can do that work without creating a 501(c), where your for-profit space can fund your nonprofit space. You can just work underneath a governing 501(c) entity,
Okay.
and without all the hassles of the rules of, because they take care of all of that for you as you work underneath that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim Richardson with Hope Advance does that.
Maybe I'll get
Right.
more info, because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I you know, in the digital marketing space, I worked for nonprofits all the time. I know how to do all their fundraising, but
Yeah.
actually doing the back end stuff is all
Yeah.
new.
Yeah, if you need any
Frank
help
Sherrod.
with that, we'll help you.
Awesome.
All right, yeah, definitely. Oh, Leanna Buckingham. I just love your name.
Thank you.
What an incredible name. What is it?
Embracing
Embra-
neurodiversity.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about how do you embrace neurodiversity and why?
So, a lot of the messaging people who are neurodiverse get growing up is that they're not good enough. Whether that's not usually purposeful messaging. And I wanted to clarify, by neurodiversity, there's several diagnosable conditions that are considered neurodiverse, such as ADHD, autism, dyslexia, dysgraphia, Tourette syndrome. And there's a lot of people who identify as being neurodiverse who don't even have a diagnosis. And so, for me, neurodiversity is a difference, and it doesn't mean you're less than.
Yes.
And a lot of the school system is designed for one style of learning, and if you don't fit into that, unfortunately, a lot of children are treated like there's something wrong with them.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of teachers are absolutely wonderful. Some teachers have very short patience with students who are different. And so, for me personally, growing up, I had undiagnosed autism, and I was very unique sounding when I spoke. I've worked on that a lot, but, and I was bullied very severely by my peers. They'd, get me in situations and force me to talk so they could laugh at the way I sounded. And so just things like that, and my teachers not knowing how to, I was very sensitive, so my teachers didn't know how to handle my emotional outbursts. Everything would make me cry, so I just spent a lot of time sitting outside the classroom crying because people just didn't know what to do with me. And so it's like the messaging I got, and also as a teacher messaging I've seen students getting, because I did teach special education for 12 years.
That's incredible. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That's
So a lot
appalling.
of, like, the messaging that students are getting is that, okay, if you do not fit this mold, then there's no place for you, you're not good enough, you don't belong. And so embracing neurodiversity means looking at the neurodiverse strengths and saying, well, even though you have differences does not mean that you're less than. That means let's find your strengths and capitalize on those.
That's good.
So one of my goals is to help with like emotional integration and balanced living, and helping people overcome those false beliefs that they've just ingrained in their psyche from how they were treated, and just not feeling accepted their whole lives. So helping them overcome those emotional blocks, and then also reaching their potential, finding their gifts, because I believe that gifts aren't for you, gifts are for the world.
Yes.
So helping neurodiverse people who maybe have been treated like they are less than, helping them find those unique gifts and bringing them to the world.
You know what you just described, we can just say humanity needs, right? Whether you're neurodiverse or not, because the way people treat each other today, and people are always looking for little opportunities to elevate themselves above other humans. It's always been the case. That's the history of humanity, right there summed up. So, but your specialty and what you're doing is so needed on earth today, and thank you for having the courage to step out using your own pain points as an opportunity to elevate others. So we applaud you for that. Thank you so much. Yeah. Lauren.
Yes.
Yeah, you are in the midst of, and I want total transparency, I know Lauren incredibly well. We've worked together for 3 years now, I believe. Yeah, and she is just in space. The way you think sometimes when we're having sessions together, it makes my head hurt.
Heard that before.
To say that I've never met another human like Lauren Clayton would be an understatement. So you are really diving head first and deeply, even though you're surrounded by challenges, into the space of your design, right?
Yes.
And how hard was it to really bring yourself out in that space of the design, knowing that it was going to be quite different than most of the people you encounter?
Well, when you say like the design, like what I'm designing my life to be like?
No, I think you and I have both agreed that every human, since you're only one of you, everyone has a specific reason for being.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we were designed and created, and leaning into that design is really what creates our space.
Like our ikigai,
Yeah.
as the Japanese say. You know, I'm going to be very honest with you. When the world was crumbling, like I think it was March 18th, 2020, you know, prime crumbling, I called my financial advisor because I had started my business, like I had my first client January 1st of 2020, and then March 1st, I felt like I was doing well enough that I could quit my job, and then 2 weeks later the world lit on fire. And so I called it was great timing, everything's fine. But I called my financial advisor and I was telling him about how much I love what I'm doing and all of this stuff, and he's like, Lauren, you found your ikigai. Like, he's like, whatever it is that you are going to be doing from here on out, it will work. And then, because I'm a Dave Ramsey fan, and I love Ken Coleman, I went on Ken Coleman's radio show because I was like, I don't know what to do. Should I do this? And he was like he could just hear, I guess, the passion in my voice about what it was that I was doing. He was like, yes. He's like, I don't even need to talk to you about whether or not this is going to be financially sound. He's like, and this is coming from Ken Coleman. Like, I got to speak to Ken Coleman.
Cool.
And he was like, you need to do this thing. You are clearly passionate about this. This is where you need to throw yourself in. I remember when I first started my business, and still to this day, I think about the impact that we get, and I cry because I'm an emotional human being, and I'm still passionate 4 years later, even with my ADHD. And I think it's all the different things I get to see that helps keep me like focused. And air quotes for all those that are on the radio. I did the air quotes. But focused in this business because there's multiple aspects of it that I know that I'm doing something different. And that difference is making a difference. And this last week, I've really seen a lot of those systems that I've been working tirelessly, like work together. I've got a team that works independently. I work in a way that supports parents so that way they can share their time with their children, but also like pour themselves into something outside of that and give themselves a break. And then on the back end, you know, we work with the local nonprofits because who could you bless with your mess? So the items that aren't junk worthy that our clients could give out to other local nonprofits, we call them and they come and grab some of the old furniture, or we take with our 15-foot enclosed trailer, and I call it Robin Hood with consent, because Robin Hood didn't have consent originally. In this day and age, we need consent. So as long as my clients give us the items, we can then take them and disperse them throughout the local community, and that is my biggest thing, because I was raised giving back to the community. My parents sat on the Veterans Day Parade Board, the Black Rose Society Board. During the Waldo Canyon fire, when I had to evacuate my parents, my dad saved the electrical equipment for that particular company because, and I quote, "Lauren, I am a responsible adult." And I said, "But what about the antiques?" You know.
How responsible are you if you're leaving your antiques?
He was put in charge of the equipment. He got the equipment out. He did what he was supposed to do. He followed orders. But just in general, you know, it was always demonstrated to me from a young age to give back to the community. Another way that my parents were both teachers, so they were really good at being able to put me in situations that helped me. Mm-hmm. I like to remove stickers. Clearly, I'm a professional organizer, and I get to do that now all the time. Yes. But back in the day, they used to put stickers on library books. And my mom wanted a way for me to give back to the community. So she would take me to the library, and they would sit me in the corner with the special sticker taker offer, which I would really love somebody to find for me again, because that thing was beautiful. And I would spend an entire half a day at the library just removing stickers for the library and community service. Wow. For my bat mitzvah, we were commanded to do 500 hours of community service in order to have our bat mitzvah. So not only did I work with local nonprofits for animal rescue, but we took care of and refinished, you know, the pews in the temple. We every year have a mitzvah day where we work with the community. So knowing that my business gives back to the community and it provides a safe place that my team members feel valued and not like a number. You know, I check in on them and their mental health, and I'll check on them. And like my team member even had a baby. She left, and I messaged her, like I just had a feeling. And I messaged her at 10 o'clock, and she was like, how did you know I was at the hospital having a baby right now? I was just about to text you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I did it. Yes. I cared enough.
That's right.
You know, and that's why I have team members that want to work for me, because I treat them the way that they deserve to be treated. And that was something that I ran into as somebody that worked for other people in a different kind of model, that I was like, no, I want these people to build my business for me.
Exactly.
And I think it was just the overall, like, I can't cry without thinking about this. That's how passionate I am. That brought me to the point of being like, okay, this is the thing. This is where I'm at. There's no giving up.
Right on. No giving up.
I mean, I got no choice.
Yeah.
So I have a daughter, my 13-year-old, and she is gifted as well with organization. She definitely does not get that from me. I mean, that is her dad. He's ADHD and totally, So, but I'm thinking summer internship or something.
We love that. And we've had that.
She's 13. Is that okay?
Well, I know my first person that worked with me when I started my business was a friend of mine, a friend of a friend who was like, I want my 15-year-old son to learn. So he was an unpaid intern at 15. I had him sign all the paperwork. We got him some insurance, so that way he was at least covered while he was on site with us. Yeah. And as long as he's an unpaid intern, and then I just felt really guilty, so I bought him giant Starbucks every day. Yeah. And then he was like, you have to stop feeding me sugar. And I said, oh, I'm sorry.
But not.
Because I don't know how to
not sorry.
Say thank you. But we can definitely look through the labor laws and make sure, but I would love to have an intern that come in and, you know, see how this stuff works.
When we get the groceries in and stuff, we're like, all right, here you go, have at it. She could just organize. I mean, she's incredible.
Yeah, it's an amazing gift.
It is a gift. Yes.
It sometimes occurs.
You know, every gift is sometimes a curse.
It is.
Water's good until you're in it.
You guys know that our show is designed because we have 4 incredible human beings in the studio today. We're so thankful for you coming. It just seemed like time just flew by with you being able to talk about what you do. But we're designed to infuse hope and encouragement in the community and beyond. Anyone that might be listening to us, because we are internet radio, we have unlimited reach. We call it World Broadcasting Network because that's the potential for our voices to be heard anywhere. And Ray, we'll start with you.
Sure.
Give something short, concise, and encouraging to our audience.
Sure. concise,
And encouraging.
and encouraging. Okay. How about a quote? Actions express priority.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Drill down just a minute on that.
Well,
And why you would pick that particular quote.
you said
Because I totally agree.
yeah. Well, I think about the course of my life, right? I think about where do I want to go, what do I want to do, right? I know I'm not the only one that feels that as you give of your time to provide, that doesn't always mean that you're like doing the thing that means the most, but you're doing the thing that will make you money,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But in the end, like, it's just money, right? What is the highest priority, right? I have 4 kids, and the things that matter most is doing stuff with them and my wife together, like us together. And the thing that I've talked about with my boys for 3 years since we bought our house is building a tree house. Right, but it hasn't happened. So then I think about actions express priority. Have I followed through with what my heart truly wants? Right, you're talking about like the plan for your life and leaning into that.
Yes.
Right. But we are in a world of distractions, right?
We
Yep.
are.
So then are your actions showing what you actually prioritize?
That's good.
That is really good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Thank you. And way to call yourself out in the midst of that. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The thing that goes with that is when your kids turn 18, they spent 95% of the time that they'll ever spend with you.
With you.
After that, you only have 5% more.
Right. I'm living it.
That didn't make me cry.
Yeah. And I don't even get 5% sometimes, right? With very busy, business-oriented kids that I have, right? So,
Yes, you're very successful
yeah,
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. But sometimes success means sacrifice of
Yeah.
other things. That what you just said really spoke to my heart and the things that as I look at to construct of my own family. So thank you. That was powerful. Yeah. How about you? What are you gonna concise and encouraging?
I'm not a concise person. But if I were to say anything, it is that every moment that you're living in is temporary. Whether it be the best moment of your life or the worst moment of your life, it's always going to be temporary. So learning to ebb and flow like the moon does is going to help you learn that it's almost difficult to have balance in something that's constantly shifting. So learning to actively go with the flow and build the banks to your river is going to be your best bet.
Indeed. Indeed. One of my favorite sayings, the banks to the river. Otherwise
It's a
you
good
just got a
song.
puddle.
Otherwise, you just got a puddle.
Excuse me.
Need to Breathe has a song.
I didn't even know that was a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It's my favorite
Yeah.
song. It's one of my favorite songs.
So
in the
good.
briefs.
Bring us something encouraging as well, young lady.
Well, it kind of goes along with that. It's just learn to be still and let go.
Ah,
Mhm. Let go of control.
how hard is that?
Oh, it's the most difficult thing.
hard.
Yeah, I'm a control freak,
Me
so
too.
this
Are
whole
ya?
process for me is all about learning to let go, because there's no decision you make that, like, I mean, everything just comes as it is, how it's meant to be.
And then when we have you on the show next year, we're gonna talk about that progress that you've made
That's right.
and how more still you are then than you were in 2023.
Oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah. My family laughs at me because even when I was still like, what can I do? How can I do this? What can I build? Like, I'm not working right now, so what can I do to be
Yes.
working? And so it's still a challenge, but
Yeah.
it's
And Leanna?
important.
So what I would like to say is that no matter who you are, you have the tools within yourself to create the life you want, to have the happiness and joy you want. And I know I've had help along the way with the coach and therapist, and it's okay to reach out and get that help, because sometimes we do need somebody to help guide us to find the tools within ourselves. But it's just so important for people to know that no matter what beliefs they have about themselves based on messaging or their own life experiences, that deep inside they do have the tools they need and they do have gifts to bring to the world. It's just a process of getting rid of all of the clutter that is blocking you from realizing what's inside of you.
Indeed, thank you.
I love
Indeed. And Lisa?
Woo. Yes, Frank. How can I help you?
By helping them.
Yeah, well, wow, that was also deep.
Yeah, we're going to go over just a couple of minutes here on our show because we started and this talk was so rich.
Yeah.
Isn't that right? Shake your head, yes. There we
Yep.
go. Great shake. Go.
Well, again, thank you all for, this was just incredible. I'm just kind of stunned at the moment. I'm thinking of all the self-care stuff ideas, and I need your phone number.
Great.
But,
Yes, absolutely.
So, anyway, love you guys.
There we go.
I'm kind of speechless with all their encouragement. I'm like, wow, I gotta absorb it and listen to it again.
But that was okay. Say love you guys again.
Love you guys.
There we go.
Sometimes that's just
There we
enough
are.
right there.
Yeah, so we're wrapping up. I just want to make sure we spotlight our sponsors once again, Cressio, and Cressio specializing in helping underprivileged and diverse entrepreneurs, particularly in the Southeast sector, reach their potential. If your business needs a strategic partner, visit Cressio.com. And also Mr. Christopher Roberts and Pro Media. Video makes all the difference. It really does. High-Pack Video, photo content in Colorado. He's the man.
Yep.
With his partner, with their commitment to growth and staying current with media trends. Pro Media is ready